Welcome to Who Made This Mess? Raising Children and Reparenting Ourselves. Here we discuss the joys and challenges of parenting while trying to develop our own self-awareness and self-compassion. Raising children can be messy and so hard, but we believe that as we learn to embrace our own messiness and imperfection, we can learn to show up for our kids and raise a gentler generation.
Welcome back. I'm Angie.
And I'm Shauna.
So glad to have you with us today. We have a really fun topic today to talk about. We're going to talk about birthdays.
I just had a birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. I feel a little old, but it was fun because I got to celebrate with my family. I felt like it was a whole weekend of birthday celebrations. So on Saturday, my husband surprised me, which is really sweet. He's good at surprises.
That's good.
I'm not good at surprises or gifts or any of those things. That is not my gifting in life. But, you know, he surprised me and took me to the Millie's factory. So it's an ice cream factory, which was just like, it's so cool.
Aww.
So I really loved that a lot.
Yeah, and you have some great memories from there.
Yeah, we got engaged at Millie's. We had Millie's at our wedding. Yeah, we're a Millie's family. And so, yeah, it was really cool to see the behind the scenes kind of things with that. And got to have dinner with my family. My mom made me a cake. And then
something about those cakes from Mom. Like, they're the best.
They are. And then on my actual birthday, this was kind of fun. My mom set this up. She had my dad watch my daughter. My husband was at work. And she took me to get a manicure and a pedicure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, some self-care there.
Yes.
Pampering.
I picked this like nice neutral color.
Yes,
right?
My
like
style. That's my style, even though I have bright pink on right now. But.
I had bright pink on Saturday because I was painting my daughter's nails.
Yeah.
And it happened to match the Millie's pink. So I go, how about that? But so I wanted this really nice neutral color. And when I was at the nail salon, the colors were not well marked. This is a dip manicure. I don't know if you've ever gotten a dip before.
I have, yes.
Yeah. They feel so nice on your hands.
They last so long.
Yeah. So I just wanted something really classic, right? Like a nice, neutral, light pink color. And I got home and I had picked my daughter up and I was taking her to her room because she fell asleep in the car. So I was trying to get her down for her nap. And I walk into her dark room and I realize it's glow in the dark. The nail polish is glow in the dark. And so now every time I put a coat in the closet, I see my nails glow. I get ready for bed. I lay in bed. The first night I just started laughing in bed because like I have these like neon glowing nails. Like
I had that happen before too, and I don't remember if I knew it was glow in the dark. I think it was mid like being done, and maybe the technician told me that they would glow in the dark, and I said, "Oh well, it'll be fun for my husband at night."
Okay, yeah. Nope, she did not tell me.
That's so funny.
It was a surprise,
and it is. It's such a nice color, and I guess I wouldn't think that color would be a glow in the dark then later. Yeah.
No, not at all.
So has Etta noticed?
Yeah. I'm like, is this going to keep her up when I'm trying to put her to sleep? Jeez. So, I mean, it just gives me a chuckle every time. So it wasn't exactly in my plans, but, birthday surprise.
Right. Yeah, sure. Well, that's nice. That's really nice. You got to celebrate through the weekend and have some time for you.
Yeah. I felt like kind of ambivalent though, like before all the celebrations were going on. And in general, when I was younger, I really felt good about birthdays. And now I'm just kind of like a little bit less excited about birthdays, I guess. But how about you? Like, how do you feel about birthdays? What are birthdays like for you?
So, going way, way back, I don't really know my own birthday. I am adopted, and I was left with nothing. So there really wasn't any paperwork saying what my birthday was. Yeah. So in that case, what they do is they take x-rays of the hand and they'll kind of decide about what age you are based on that development. Wow. And so that's how they gathered like an around there kind of day. And so my parents were able to just pick from some days that they gave, I think. Wow. And they just in general, I think, I could be wrong, but I think in general they just like pinpointed when I was probably born. And so that's how they came up with the day in October. And but then there was other paperwork later found that said like I could have possibly been older than what they said.
Really?
By almost a year. And so
no way.
I found some paperwork that said something about like December being a possible option. But I think that because of like the transition of coming from India, they chose the younger age. It's just kind of like the wiser way to go rather than to try to put me into where I'm not that developed yet, you know, mentally and like learning and stuff. So it's really interesting. So that's where like the start of birthdays starts for me is that I don't know my real birthday, but we do celebrate in one day in October. And so that's what we did all my life growing up. Then, you know, that is my birthday. But
when did you first kind of know that might not be your actual birthday?
I'm not sure actually. Sometime growing up, I don't know, I might have been Jasmine's age or a teenager or something, and then it just started to come up. Maybe when we asked more about our adoption and stuff, then they shared that. But it's interesting. But then at the same time, I remember celebrating a birthday with someone when I was in college, and I asked them because they said they weren't going to go home for their birthday. Yeah. And that surprised me because, you know, we always celebrated with our family, you know. And I said, wasn't a celebration for your mother too? And I never thought of that with my own because it was adopted. And so, but I was thinking, and even thinking now, like when we celebrate one of my children's birthdays, I'm thinking of that day that they were born and everything that was with it. And so I asked this person, I was like, well, it was kind of surprising to me that they wouldn't go home and celebrate with their parent because it was like, that's the celebration for them too. They became a parent whenever you were born. So it was just a different kind of thought that surprised the person too. They were like, I never thought of it like that, you know.
I don't think I thought of that until I became a parent.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so I think I have a lot of unique thoughts when it comes to birthdays, but I enjoy them and I enjoy celebrating others and my kids. And I think as I get older, I don't think as much about my own birthday and preparing or trying to plan a celebration or anything like that. I think it's harder for me to celebrate myself, I guess. And then it just kind of like sneaks up on you too. Birthdays, they come around and it's like, oh yeah, here it is. It's my birthday.
How old am I again?
I'm not really one of the ones that like know it's coming and they say, oh, it's my birthday month, and they celebrate the whole month long. And I'm like, wow, like that's, I mean, great for them, but it's just never how I thought. So
I kind of wish that I had that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yes, I am going to celebrate me for a whole month, right? It's
maybe a weekend, but
I did have a birthday weekend this year, so I'm excited about that. I think that is such a great point, though, about your own unique experiences there and how adoption kind of makes the experience of birthdays maybe different than someone who didn't experience adoption. So
we celebrate our arrival days, though. So the day that we became a part of the family. And so the day that we arrived from India into the U.S., so we'll celebrate that and that. We do know the actual day. Yeah. And so I remember when I was engaged to my husband, I was like, we have extra days to celebrate here. And so, and the truth is, I don't really remember them until it's like in the calendar. I'm like, oh, today's this day, but we really don't do extra celebrating for it. But yeah, it's just interesting that there's differences.
Yeah, because like when I'm celebrating my daughter's birthday, it is both the day she was born and the day she came into our family. And you have 2 different days for that you're celebrating, right? Like the day that you were born and then the day you came into your family.
Yes.
And so it's just, it's like you just spread out the joy a little bit.
Yeah. But, birthdays growing up, we just got together with our family, our aunts and grandmas, and we would have like a little birthday party probably just at the house to have a few friends from the church, and when we lived out in like a very rural area too, but it was just pizza, cake, and Kool-Aid. It wasn't that much of a big to do as it is today, I think, as far as like the pressures out there.
I was trying to think back if I could remember any of your birthday parties, like going to your birthday parties when I was a kid.
I have pictures of one that was, I don't know if it was for me or my sister, but it was a costume. Like everyone was in a costume. Yeah.
That sounds like it would be you in October potentially.
Oh,
right?
yeah, maybe.
Like Halloween.
Because like we didn't celebrate Halloween, so maybe it was just like a dress up because of October. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. I could look back at the pictures and see who it was blowing out candles, but
That's true.
Yeah. But I do remember that one. It was just at the house, and I'll have to find the picture and show you. But that's the one I do remember seeing pictures of. And
I think there was one when you were in either junior high or high school that I came over because I think there were like, did you ever have a boy-girl party? Or am I making that up? No? Okay. Maybe I'm making it up in my head and my memories.
I know in college you came to my parents' house in Madison, and it was my dad's 60th, and you were there for that, and we actually announced that we were pregnant with his gift. It was a grandpa mug. Yeah, so you remember that one.
That was so special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit after college, right?
Yeah.
I was maybe, I don't remember if I was in grad school though. Maybe I was back visiting.
I think you were back because I hadn't seen you in a long time, so I think it was just, I don't know if you were visiting or if you were back, but we hadn't seen each other in a very long time. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's cool to be able to be a part of that. I think you were at some of my parties too. My family, we are a birthday celebrating family. Like my extended family on my mom's side in particular. Lots. My sweet husband, whenever we started dating, he's like, I think I've been to more kids' birthday parties in the time that we've been dating than I did my whole childhood.
Yes.
Because I have a lot of cousins and I go to their birthday parties. I try to, because I really, I love kids and I love celebrating.
Yeah, and you came to each of my kids' first and second, third birthday parties too. Yeah.
Those first birthdays are such a big deal. And so, it's really exciting to celebrate the first birthday. And it's also, I think, a lot about the mom and, and the parents having survived that first year and how hard it is. But yeah, my husband always had very simple, small birthday get-togethers with his family, a lot of just like immediate family and a special meal. And in my family, I think we did birthdays a little bit bigger. And so I know I had a lot of friend parties. I had skating parties.
Did you ever do Chuck E. Cheese?
I don't think we did Chuck E.
Like
Cheese.
McDonald's play space.
Definitely
Yeah.
did McDonald's. Do you remember? I think you were at, I think I have pictures of you at this one. I was maybe like 4. And they had a trolley at the McDonald's. Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe we'll see if we can find some of these pictures.
Get ready,
and-
parents. You're going to be digging out pictures for us.
We're going to maybe share them on our Instagram or something so you guys can see too. Yeah, there was like a trolley, and it was always the Happy Meals. Those were good birthday parties.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
simple, so fun.
Yeah. And so I think like that probably, like having had bigger, significant parties growing up. Now I'm an only child, right? So my parents only had to throw one kid's birthday party a year. So you maybe go a little bit bigger when you only have one versus if you have to, have more than one party. Yeah.
Yeah, with the the siblings, like what if your days are close together, or even like the ones that are close to Christmas, or like Ethan, his birthday is at the 4th of July, so his birthday is July 5th.
Yeah.
But we always say like you want fireworks every year for your birthday.
That's really
And he
sweet.
actually does not like fireworks. I think they're too loud, but as he's gotten older, I think he likes them a little bit more. But
Yeah.
but it's funny with that. But I think it can be difficult if your birthday does fall right next to someone else's or near a holiday. One thing I did want to mention that I think is neat is I might have to share this first. My husband, he's Black, and when we got married and did birthdays, for his side of the family, we sing happy birthday, and then the whole family starts singing another version of happy birthday afterwards.
Really?
And it's really fast and upbeat, and it's like happy birthday to you, and they go through it, and it's really fun. And I've learned it now, but I still I think I'm like paying attention more than like joining in. And yeah, I just never knew. I never knew until we were married, and I went to family birthday parties with that side of the family, and it's just like, it's just what you do.
Yeah, it's their tradition.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, different cultures have different traditions when it comes to birthdays, and different families have different traditions when it comes to birthdays. And, you might have the traditions in your family of origin growing up, but then you get to kind of make your own traditions for your kids and what's important to you and your family.
Right.
So, like, what are some of the traditions for birthdays now that you have for your kids?
I don't know that I have anything that's like really out of the ordinary than what I grew up with. We just you ask what your favorite meal is, like what meal do you want, and leading up I ask like what they know it's coming. I don't really have to ask what do you want for your birthday, because they know now to come tell me.
Yeah.
Months leading up. And that's where I'm like, okay, let's express some gratitude here. It'll be like the day after Christmas, and they're telling me how many months it is until their birthday. And I'm just like, this is terrible parenting. And so anytime they see something and they do know it's close to their birthday, then they're like, I want that for my birthday. I want that for my birthday. And I always end up telling them, like, they'll still be telling me things like a few days before your birthday, and I'm like, you can't tell me anything else. Like, mommy did her online shopping. Like, I can't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, how do I tell you that I've done my online shopping? The gifts have been hidden for a month now, and you can't tell me anything more now, because then it does kind of get hard, because as they tell me things, then I end up like getting too much, and so I have tried to watch that now, because I've noticed it happen, because I'm a planner and I like to shop early. I like to not be in the stores, or I like to get a good deal, so I will online shop or try to find something that might be like used through eBay or just still in box, but it's less, and so I do shopping that way. But then I do find that I end up spending more, because that list keeps coming, and I will still try to find things for them.
Because you want to make them happy. You want to make it special. Yeah. Do you feel pressure to make it even, or are they far enough apart that?
Yeah, it's far enough apart, like a couple months in between. So, yeah, nobody's counting. But at Christmas, yeah, for sure, I really make sure that it's like an even number for both of them and all the planning that goes in. Yeah. But one thing that's nice is I have done a lot of things that aren't brand new, and you know, and they still have liked it in the earliest years, like the thrift store. I would be buying things at the thrift store for them.
Yes.
Toys. The toy section at the thrift store is like Candyland. Like, and so they just would always be able to find things there, or I would pay attention to what they were looking at, and then later go back and get some things. So, yeah, but I don't really think that I have a lot of different kind of traditions or
Do you do
things
a party
that I do.
or a celebration?
So I did do a party when they were and this is where the pressure of parties comes in, because in today's time, it can be a lot of pressure to have like that Instagram worthy party. You have a theme, you have the birthday outfit, our phones do really well with photography now, but like you might even have found someone to do pictures. And like favors aren't even just like a pencil anymore. Favors are a big thing, you know, and a cost, and everything has to be on theme, and like all the decor. And so there's just a lot to it. And so when they were young, I just said, I'm going to do a party when you're 5. I'll do another party when you're 10, and we'll go from there. But I like set those boundaries because it was like, I can't do more than that.
Yeah.
And it was really, really special to do a really big fun birthday for them at 5 years old. And so I did for each of them. So for Jasmine, we did, this is actually like the beginning of her ballet life. She asked for ballet lessons because I think she had seen Elmo visit a ballet school in Sesame Street. Because I was like, why is she asking for ballet lessons? How does she know about it? And then I saw the episode and I was like, oh, that's why she wants to go to ballet. And so I did a whole ballet themed birthday party, and it was it was really great. It was really sweet. She loved it. Her gift from us was a Misty Copeland Barbie doll because she was in a ballet recently, and like there was a Barbie out for her. And then we gifted her a month of beginner lessons at a place that was on Groupon, and that was how her ballet started. And it was really, really great to do that for, and we have such cute pictures and memories from it. But I put a lot of work and effort into all of it. I made tutus for every guest that attended.
Oh my goodness.
And sent them home. Like, we did a whole craft, and the craft was like very organized and like pre-steps and stuff. That's just like the organized part of me. Like, it didn't have to be that organized, but they did a craft that was like their favor that they went home with besides the tutu. And it was just a lot. Like, I had a whole like photo area set up. So it was a lot. And then for Ethan, he was really into the PJ Masks show at the time. And so I did a whole PJ Masks themed birthday party for him. And it was the same thing, like big photo area. I had a craft that looked like their tower. I saved like 40 Pringles cans. And then we made it looked like their tower in the TV show. And that was like their favorite that they went home with was this tower. And I made, and my mother, thanks Mom. She made capes for every guest. Yeah. But I really it was so enjoyable to do that. I'm very creative, so I enjoyed all of that and coming up with that. But I mean, had I not seen that modeled out there in the world, these themed birthdays. Would I have even thought of doing something like that? No. And so I enjoyed every bit of it, but it's not an every year thing for us. And then by the time they were 10, Jasmine turned 10, Ethan's will be this year. You know, she wanted just like a sleepover. She wanted like just kids to come over. And so we did do like a painting party just at the house, but it was only 5 kids, and it wasn't that elaborate.
Yeah.
And I think now as they get older, they just want to either go to a trampoline park or just have kids over for a sleepover and stuff like that. So it's gotten easier, I think, or I've allowed it to get easier rather than harder, because I think in some families it gets more expensive as the year goes on.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting. I've only had 2 birthdays as a parent for my daughter, right? Like she's only 2. And her first birthdays, I just feel like there's such a big celebration for the parents, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, we made it through the first year. This is your very first birthday, right? Like, and it's a big celebration. For us, it was still during COVID and some of the big flare-ups of COVID. So I had wanted to have a big birthday party for her because I didn't actually get to have like the showers, the baby showers that I had planned or envisioned. We did, we had a shower planned and then we had to cancel it because we had a COVID exposure. And then we did a porch party where people dropped stuff up on the porch when the kids came. And, but that wasn't what I had wanted, right? Like that wasn't what I had expected in my mind about what it would look like. And so, it felt a lot like, okay, I want her first birthday to be really special. And so I would have loved to invite like everybody, but because of COVID, I had to keep it smaller. I still really liked getting into all of the decorations and the themes because like I'm crafty, so it's fun. It's an outlet for me, and I wanted to do that,
right?
And it also stressed me out a lot. And Etta was dairy free at that time, and so I decided instead of trying to find somewhere to make her a dairy free cake, I was going to make the dairy free cake. And so I made cake. I made like 2 practice cakes before the actual
like
cake.
The little smash cake is a thing now.
Yeah,
we never did that.
Yeah, I don't think that was a thing when we were kids. No. So I had her cake. I made cupcakes. I made cake pops. I was doing all this stuff for her first birthday party. And I think for me it was like a way to kind of process some of the stuff that I was going through, because that first birthday I had a lot of mixed emotions because I had a traumatic birth, and so I was having not just the anniversary of her birth but the anniversary of like me being re-hospitalized and me being separated for a period of time because I was sick, and so I had a lot of complicated feelings around that for her first birthday. Her second birthday was so much easier in that way, as far as like the trauma. And for her second birthday, we decided to go big because
it was wonderful.
It was really fun. We had just sold our house, so we had a little bit of extra income to spend on a party like in this season, and so we were able to invite a bigger group of people. We were able to have it at a restaurant, which was nice because I didn't have to think about all of the food or clean my house, right? Like I didn't want to do that. And so we were able to have a bigger party for her second birthday, and a lot of that was like, I want to get to have a celebration for her. I want to have a big celebration.
Postponed so long.
And so her first birthday we did Etta is a sweet one. So we did like candy and ice cream themed ice cream. Love ice cream in this family. She's dairy free, but I still did an ice cream birthday party. They make dairy free ice cream.
Yes, they do. I get it myself.
Yeah. And her second birthday, we did Etta is Too Groovy. And so
It was so cute.
It was
I
really
loved it.
fun.
Yeah.
And now I have like this hobby of cake making, right? And so like it's really fun for me because I kind of put the work in at our first birthday to learn a little bit about how to make a cake. And so now I really enjoy it. So I made a cake. I made a bunch of cupcakes. We did do favors and some decor and all that kind of stuff. But like I kept it a little, I tried to keep it simple in terms of like using things I already had, right? Like as much as I could, to try to make it simple in that way and just not to spend a lot on waste, right? To like, keep it lower waste. And so like I had a craft where they made like headbands, right? And so I used things like cardstock and crafting supplies that I already had.
Right.
And one of the biggest hits, I was so shocked, was the beanbag toss.
Oh,
Those
yes.
kids loved that beanbag toss. These like dollar store baskets that I got that are now my laundry baskets, right? And like they loved that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think everyone can kind of decide what is important to them, right? Like it was important to me to be able to invite all of my cousins, right? To be able to have something where, you know, after all these years of celebrating their kids, they
Yes, this was going to say, you've loved so well for everyone else that it was so nice for everyone to come for you and your family.
Yeah, and it's just nice to be able to be with your people after so long of not seeing your people, right? Like, I really was grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was real stressed
No.
because I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And I think I do fall into that trap sometimes of like the Instagram worthy party or the Pinterest worthy party. And like I don't know exactly what that's about, but it has something to do with like that comparison and wanting to like have it all together.
Yeah, to portray that you can put on a party like that. Yeah. And I just think like, wow, I don't want to teach my kids this kind of pressure. Again, like I loved the parties that I did, but I'm glad that I've now not made it a priority to make them that way. I do go back to the money. I think I would rather spend money on a gift that they might like or an experience that they might like out somewhere rather than spending it on decorations and stuff, you know. But and I'm very crafty, and then like I think of the time. Like I had more time at that time, but I also used so much time that I was overwhelmed and stressed by the time that the party came around, even though I loved doing it for them. Yeah. It really was. And I know my husband was looking at me like, why are you don't need to do all this. Why are you doing all this? Like,
no, I think it is like a good thing to reflect on. Why are we doing the things that we're doing? What is important to us? I think I probably want to keep making that cake for my daughter every year, right?
Yeah.
Like that's an important tradition for me now.
Let's reflect on the good and the bad of the.
I'm not going to do a big party like we did this year every year. I don't know what it's going to look like. And I think as she gets older, like these two themes, I got to pick those, right?
Yeah.
I got to pick it, make my Pinterest boards, right? Like enjoy that because she's only 2. But next year, she's probably going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if it's frozen.
Specific interests. That you'll take note of.
Yeah. And so over time, it will become more about her. So we have a lot more to talk about, I think, some thoughts on birthdays and gifts. And so we will have you guys stay tuned for our next episode when we'll talk some more about gift giving and kind of our attitudes towards that and how we've seen that in our lives. So stay tuned for that next episode on gifts.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
If you enjoyed this discussion, take a moment to like and subscribe on our channels. You can find us on YouTube or anywhere that you listen to podcasts.
We're on Instagram at Who Made This Mess Podcast. You can find myself at Robinson Right Now.
And I'm at The Nerdy Nurturer.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great day.